Welcome back to the Eric Krown Crypto channel. Wishing you a happy Monday start. It's like Thirsty Thursday morning. It's Thirsty Thursday. I'm going to be doing the same thing as I always do, which is not fucking drinking because I don't do that. But there is plenty to discuss on some new charts, or at least checking in on some charts that we don't typically check in on all that often, because Bitcoin is at a major point of which, according to this one chart, we the users, the people looking at these sort of charts, haven't actually seen the real breakout as of yet on the macro. I want to be very deliberately clear with that. Other than that, I want to once again give the highlight to the buyback promotion going on, because they got 0% on maker fees for derivative contract orders. If you follow the link in the description below and also all the directions, you get it for the first 30 days. And then you also even get the Jewel Light for free for the first 30 days as well, and get the lower price tier for the Jewel Light, which will be changing on April 17th. All right, sweet. Now that we got that out of the way, let's just jump right into it. We're going to be looking at the Bitcoin versus monetary to supply. So this chart, putting it into like maybe more layman's terms, essentially standardizes for the value of the US dollar versus Bitcoin, because the value of the dollar is inherently changing, and it's been changing a lot more, especially in the past few years here, because, well, the Fed has been printing money, there's been inflation, now there's a bit of disinflation, and so these sort of things fluctuate around, and we're not necessarily looking at a fully steady asset in the dollar. We're looking at two moving parts, of which the dollar moving more now than it typically does due to the actions of the Fed. So I'm not making any commentary on the actions of the Fed, just that is a objective fact. And going into it right here, you can see several things. So first and foremost, you can see that on the actual lows, as we pointed out a few months ago from November, you can see that, you know, the people who are looking for like $10,000, $12,000 Bitcoin, they kind of did get it in a way. They just weren't looking at the right damn chart, so it didn't really help, right? But if you actually equate for this, then yes, you can see that Bitcoin got all the way back down to basically where it was in October of 2020, before the last major real bull market started. Obviously, when Bitcoin was around like $9,000-$10,000 at that time. So yeah, you know, Bitcoin really did actually, I mean, in one way of looking at it, yeah, it actually did have that move. What's interesting right now, what's relevant right now, is obviously not that. That is many months past, but you can see right here that Bitcoin is exactly at, if I draw a line from the 2017 high, the December 2017 high right here. Let me just highlight it with a, where's my damn brush? Where's my damn brush? I'm a painter, motherfucker. Let's see. Hey, stop laughing. Stop it. Art is not funny. Art is serious, and Bitcoin is also serious. Imagine that money. You know, looking at it right here, you can see that we're quite literally right at that same level as of right now on the monthly time, well, on any time frame really, but on the higher term time frame. So this is suggestive. This says a few things. So it says, one, first, if we actually do see a legitimate breakout above that region, you know, that would be the real breakout, if you will, and Bitcoin working its way to the 0.5 fib here would be very, very likely. And the 618 is within reason as well, which is significantly higher. Now we'll check in on spot price action to see what those levels would essentially correlate to in terms of like real dollar price, but you can see that those are obviously significantly higher. Also, on top of that, you can see that Bitcoin already based off on the 382 after being thrown back from the 2017 high right here, and so far so good. I mean, that's exactly where it lifted off from for this month of April, as Bitcoin yet again retested, which is, you know, typically a good sign. That's probably going to do some busting action and pop on through. Anyways, like I said, breaking of that, you know, like extremely likely the 0.5. In fact, if you check in with other people, I mean, just holding the 382 probably does propel a move somewhere around there. But ultimately, if we do start to see breakers above there, yeah, the 618, like I said, is within reason. So let's go see what this would look like on spot price action, and we can do the same sort of inverted fib right here. You can see that 382 was that 27,500 tick, and also the 0.5 is about just below $33,000. That number continues to pop on up several times now, doesn't it? Because even when we're looking at it from from this picture right here, which again, that's 0.5, if we go over and check out the Gaussian channel on the weekly, guess what? That's the top side, the same area that we've kind of been having as like an area of interest based off of the break of the mean band right here, which happened officially a few weeks ago and near the end of March. Now, the reason why that was is relevant is because, well, Bitcoin's been living well below the mean bands, getting rejected from that damn mean band since March of last year, 2022. And of course, anytime that we have seen Bitcoin on the Gaussian channel turn red, reclaim the mean band, it's gotten a free ride to the top side of the Gaussian channel. And actually, in all cases, it's busted on through after, enough time as well. So in this case, this would, one, have a soft area of interest right around that 32,000-ish region. And then, yes, long term, throughout all tested prior iterations historically on both the 5-day and the weekly. I think the 5-day has more, obviously. At some point, Bitcoin has busted on through and gone on for some pretty impressive runs. Not always runs to new all-time highs, but even in the case of what we saw in 2018, this is still a pretty damn impressive run right here, obviously. Then of course, this one over here took its time coming off of the March 2020 Dumbola party, but ultimately did bust on through as well. Rebases on the top side of the band, and then upwards and onwards. So that's essentially kind of what I'm looking for throughout these next few months. Bitcoin in the more near term probably continues on with this rally. If we go and check in on the top side, or the 618 fib retracement here, that would have, I guess, the more hopium target about $39,000, just below $40,000. So it's not like super out of the question if Bitcoin basically closed this monthly, let's say above 30,000-ish. Low 30,000 would probably do it for me. If you see something like that, then very likely, at least 32 to 33, and probably, 39 would not be out of the question. It would not be like, I would no longer be able to say that this is like not. This is an unreasonable target. It's shouldn't be talking about unless you're like a full on moon boy. But yeah, if that does happen, then yeah, I suppose that would be within the cards. Anyways, so yes, we've gone through that. Now let's get into the daily HPDR ranges. As this, I think, is going to get the current range and resolution pretty damn well for the more near term. We can see the top side coming in around about 30,700 or so on the median right here. So if you do start to see, medium or higher term time frame closures above that region, very likely we're going to see Bitcoin make a leg up towards where, the top side of this range. And guess where that is? 32,800. Very fucking similar to what we saw over here, and also on the M2 chart as well, and of course on the Gaussian channel for the weekly here as well. So again, that would be the next sort of thing that I'd be looking for. And then of course in the shorter term timeframes, what would be an invalidation of this? Same thing as yesterday, basically very, very short term timeframes, 29,650 or 700 on a closing basis, not a wick basis, but a closing basis, similar to what we saw yesterday. There was a wick, but no closure below. If that were to happen, I'd be looking for a move somewhere down around about 29,100 to 29,200. But that's the big one. 29,000 basically is the big one for me, meaning that I am generally looking for Bitcoin to, float sideways and up from here into the low 30,000s, as we've been looking at, as long as Bitcoin's closing dailies above $29,000. That is actually the same pivot as this chart over here. I won't go through the full rigmarole. I won't go through the full explanation of this. Just the volatility versus stochastic momentum setup. It's very much the same over here. It hasn't been invalidated. It's still active, and still probably has another, week and a half to go on it. Anyways, in this case, we can see, the daily stochastic pivot is at $29,000. So do keep that in mind. Let's actually just run through the list right here, because this video is, I think this one's fine for right now. 12-hour time frame also remains the upside as long as Bitcoin's above 30,180, which actually it's below right now. So that could have a little flippy floppy. If it does, perhaps some more sideways. 6-hour time frame, same thing, 30,300, the natural pivot. 4-hour time frame is also actually nosediving below 30,400, and hourly is up. It's nice and erect above 29,950. So that's actually rather interesting right there. All medium and lower term timeframes do suggest a little bit more sideways here, probably. But again, sideways without violating at, a minimum 20,000, let's call it 650 on it, or 29,650. 29,650. Yes, that's the right one. Back on over here, it's completely irrelevant. And as long as Bitcoin's above $29,000, I still look at, the overall setup as indicative of a higher probability towards moving, a bit higher towards about $32,000, probably a bit of a pullback there. And then the question is, where does the monthly end? Does the monthly start to close above these regions? that's at the point when, okay, I guess we can start to lean into some more hopium targets. Maybe, within like the month and a half to follow that. And then very, very, very likely a big move down. And when I say big move down, I mean 20 to 30%. We'll go over that when the time is calling for it. I don't think it's super relevant right now, but do keep in mind that at the end of the day, at the end of the rally, it typically goes the other way. No, my point is that whether Bitcoin gets to like $32,000 or $39,000, whatever the fuck it is, very likely we're going to see about a 20 to 30% move to the downside after that, where you could maybe even see Bitcoin come all the way back down to $25,000. So, something like this, like let's say the ultra hopium, boom, and then yeah, something like that would probably make sense. But that's still more long-term. We'll save that for another video on another day. I hope that this video was in some way helpful. With that said, as always, I want to be wishing you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully soon.